Everyone says, well, what about his comments on Tommy Robinson? My position is perfectly clear on that. I never wanted Tommy Robinson to join UK. I don't want him to join Reform UK. Nigel Farage weighs in after Sadiq Khan's heated clash with Tommy Robinson. You're not going to believe what just unfolded. A moment that felt less like politics and more like a raw collision of personalities. The London Assembly Chamber turned into a stage not just for debate, but for drama. On one side, Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London. On the other, Tommy Robinson crashing into the conversation and sparking uproar. And then watching closely from the sidelines, Nigel Farage, ready as always to seize the moment and deliver his take. This wasn't just a political exchange, it was a showdown. A clash that had everyone talking, from journalists in Westminster to ordinary people scrolling through Twitter. And Farage's reaction, that's what's turning this story into something even bigger. Welcome to Back Britain Unfold. So, here's how it started. The London Assembly meeting was meant to be a routine session. Policy discussions, budget talk, the usual political back and forth. But Tommy Robinson's presence shifted the entire mood. He interrupted proceedings, launching into fiery criticisms aimed at Khan's leadership. His words, sharp, provocative, designed to stir. The chamber erupted. Some Assembly members shouted back, security moved in, and all the while Khan sat at the centre, trying to maintain composure under the storm. For those watching, it was clear this wasn't about parliamentary procedure anymore. It was about power, anger, and who could hold their ground in the heat of chaos. Enter Nigel Farage. The former UKIP leader, now a high-profile commentator and political disruptor in his own right, wasted no time responding. On his nightly programme, Farage broke down what happened, shaking his head as he replayed the highlights. This, he said with his trademark mix of amusement and disbelief, is exactly why people are losing faith in politics. The Assembly has become a circus, and the Mayor looked completely out of his depth. Farage didn't hold back. He accused Khan of dodging responsibility, of being too polished in his answers while avoiding the real frustrations people feel. And when it came to Robinson, Farage chose his words carefully, condemning the disruption, but at the same time acknowledging that the anger he voiced is shared by many. That balance, that's what's fueling headlines, because Farage managed to position himself as the one interpreting the chaos, the one framing the story in a way that resonates with his supporters. Now let's pause for a second. Why does Farage's reaction matter? Because he thrives in these moments. Political theatre, outrage, disruption, these are the conditions where Farage steps in and says, "See, I told you so." And in a climate where people already feel let down by leadership, his words hit harder. One commentator on social media summed it up. Farage has turned into the referee of British politics. Whenever chaos breaks out, he's there with the commentary. Another added, Khan lost control, Robinson hijacked it, and Farage turned it into a soundbite. Classic politics in 2025. But it's not just about who said what. The implications are real. For Khan, this moment adds to a growing perception problem. His critics say he looks defensive under pressure. His supporters insist he's standing firm against provocateurs. But in politics, perception is reality. And video clips of him clashing with Robinson, then being torn apart by Farage's commentary, are now circulating widely. For Robinson, the incident cements his role as a disruptor. He knows that simply showing up and causing chaos can dominate the news cycle. Even those who condemn him can't ignore the fact that he shifted the entire narrative of the Assembly that day. And for Farage, it's a gift, a ready-made stage for him to critique both sides, to paint himself as the only one speaking for ordinary people. The public response, explosive. One viewer wrote under a clip, say, "What you like about Robinson, but at least someone is calling Khan out." Another fired back, "This isn't politics, it's pantomime. Farage is cashing in on the drama instead of offering solutions." And then came the more cynical takes. They're all playing roles. Khan the politician, Robinson the rebel, Farage the commentator. Meanwhile, nothing changes. It's a sign of the times. People don't just watch politics for policy anymore. They watch it like a live show with villains, heroes, and commentators. This was today's important update. We want to make it clear that our videos do not contain any kind of misinformation. Our only goal is to deliver true and verified news from across the UK, right here on Britain Unfold. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the Britain Unfold channel. Thank you.